Welcome to the Longfellow Township April 8th, 2026 meeting. Megan, would you kindly read the statement of the presiding officer?
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting, specifically the time, date, and public call and information were included in the meeting that was electronically sent to the Echo Sentinel, Morris Daily Record, and posted on the Township website. The agenda and public handouts for this meeting can be viewed online at www.longhillnj.gov. A public comment period will be held in the order it is listed on the meeting agenda. Failure of the governing body to provide a live broadcast of this meeting or technological problems encountered during this meeting that affect remote viewing and/or participation will not invalidate this meeting or any action taken, including but not limited to the adoption of any ordinance, resolution, or motion.
Thank you, Megan. Would everybody please kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Megan, could you take roll, please?
We're going to do something before then?
What do you think? All right, let's do it. So, tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing Teresa Fettis. Some may know her as Teresa Dill Fettis, if I could say that. Matt?
Yes.
Would you mind saying a few words as to what we discussed regarding?
We discussed something?
We did.
When? Last thing we discussed was about the Big East basketball. It's the last conversation I remember having with you.
No, we chose Teresa.
Oh, yes. Okay, thanks. No, Teresa's, her name was provided by us by the local committee. It was an excellent choice. Teresa grew up on Essex Street. She's a Lower Sterling person. She's an attorney. She grew up here. She actually purchased a property across from the hotel on the corner of Rowan Avenue, she lives in now. She's recently married to Sergeant Fettis from the Berkeley Heights PD. Oh, I forgot, Lieutenant Fettis from the Berkeley Heights PD. Thank you for the correction. Her family lives in town. Her family lives on Essex Street. She has a sister that just bought a house in Gillette. She has another brother that's got a family that bought a house in Gillette. So her family's entrenched in the town. She grew up here. She's been on the planning board how many years?
It's in my 6th year.
She's in her 6th year on the planning board, so she has intimate knowledge of the master plan and a lot of the goings-on in town. She's very involved in a lot of the drafting of ordinances. And overall, she's a great person, very approachable, and just a very friendly person. So she'd be an excellent addition to the Township Committee.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, sir.
I think that I concur with what Deputy Mayor Dorsey said. Looking forward to working with you. And I know your husband very well. Great guy, great family. Both families great in the area. And I think a lot of good things are going to come forward, especially with new voices here. I think we're going to get a lot accomplished and really looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Dick?
Well, what's left for me to say?
Vic, speechless.
Very much looking forward to working with you. Know you grew up in town, know your family, you've volunteered in town. I have no doubt that you love the town, and we look forward to having you on board for a long time.
Thank you, and I concur with everything that has been said, and I very much look forward to working with you as well.
Thanks.
So, can I have a motion? Any public comment? All right. Would anyone from the public like to make a comment regarding the appointment of Teresa Fettis to the Township Committee? Anyone online, Megan?
If anybody online would like to make a comment to the Township Committee appointment of Teresa Fettis, please raise your hand now. I don't see anyone, Mayor.
Thank you, Megan. Now, can I have a motion to approve Resolution 26-102, and I'll read it. Accepting resignation of Scott Lavender as a member of the Township Committee of the Township of Long Hill and appointing Teresa Fettis to fill the remainder of his unexpired term.
So moved.
Second.
Committeeman Liberato,
Yes.
Committeeman Verleza,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey.
Yes.
Mayor Pasurcia.
Yes. Megan, would you kindly please administer the oath of office to Teresa Fettis?
just sub my name.
Yep.
Okay.
State your name.
I, Teresa Fettis, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of Township Committee according to the best of my ability, and that I will not use my office to grant preferential treatment nor to seek personal gain, favor or advantage not available to the general public. So help me God.
So I know there's a lot of family members out there, so would you kindly come up so we can take a photo? Megan is a great photographer.
Sign there. We're gonna put it in here.
And then if I could also ask the township committee afterwards to take a picture as well.
Yep, go ahead. My camera. Let's stick this.
Yeah.
Let's get rid.
Get out of the background.
Oh, yeah, maybe stand, and then we'll go. Thank you, Megan.
I want to congratulate. I'm not messing with her.
Back to work, everybody. So poor Teresa doesn't have a nameplate yet?
No, it's over there.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations, you're on
Well,
twice.
that's great.
Well, you can. Nobody else can do that.
Chuck's 2 bites of an apple.
Now, Miss Megan, would you kindly take roll call?
Committeewoman Fettis.
Present.
Committeeman Liberato.
Present.
Committeeman Veleza.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey.
Here.
Mayor Paserchia.
Present. So I'd like to open up the meeting. This is line item number 3. So the meeting is open to the public. Remarks and statements pertaining to agenda items only. If you could kindly keep remarks or questions to 3 minutes, if you could. Seeing none in the courtroom, Megan, anybody at home?
Anybody at home would like to make a public comment regarding agenda items only, please raise your hand now. I don't see anyone, Mayor.
Thank you, Megan. All right, so line item number 4, the Watch on Hills, Dr. Jewett, Superintendent, and Bill Schultz, Business Administrator, are here, and we do appreciate, I want to point this out, we do appreciate you coming each year. We don't have to drag you here. You
We
come.
invite ourselves, and you graciously accept our invitation.
And on behalf of the Township Committee, and more importantly, the residents of Long Hill, we do appreciate that. So if I could just turn the floor over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please give Gianna my best when you see her as well.
I
miss
will,
her.
thank you.
I see her around town sometimes. So I actually am realizing, Mayor Patricia, this is my 13th year doing this. Have I been doing this with you my entire time at Watchung Hills?
Yes.
I'm just gonna say, and Deputy Mayor Dorsey, it's been a long time as well.
Almost as
Yeah,
much, yes.
so.
Matt's hair's not as gray as
I do genuinely appreciate and want to thank you for allowing us to come and give you the highs and lows of our budget every year. I enjoy the time as it's set aside for us to actually come and have a face-to-face with the Township Committee. We are, so dependent on the support of the 4 communities that we serve, and so it really is nice to have the great relationship that we do with you, so we thank you for that. This is the first year you're getting to meet Mr. William Schultz, who is our business administrator that started in August, and I have to commend him for following in Tim's footsteps, because he did an outstanding job in a very, very difficult financial year as everyone's facing, whether it's township budgets, school budgets, and we came through this really in really good shape. Our board is tremendous in being very committed to providing outstanding opportunities for our students, but doing so in the most fiscally responsible manner possible, and that is the budget that we've come to finalize this year. So, what I always like to start off, I get to give the positives, and then I turn it over to the business administrator to share the fun numbers. So our enrollment has been, slowly declining. When I started in 2013, we were at about 2,300, and next year our projected enrollment is 1,651. And what we have done through the years is we have reduced staff, and we've been able to do that mostly through attrition each year, which has been nice, so it hasn't impacted, for the most part, people in existing jobs, because we've been able to do that through retirements and other vacancies. We continue, the students and the staff at Watchung Hills, as you know, many of you have or will have students through there, are what make the school so special, and they accomplish such amazing things every single year. I just highlighted a few that are particularly notable. We use different data to gauge our progress. It's certainly not the end that we're looking for, but they are nice indicators that we're moving in the right direction. And one of the indicators that we do look at are our AP results. And it's not just the number, it's number one, the improvement and the number of students involved. And I can really proudly say that our staff committed to a goal about 13 years ago of increasing access and performance on our advanced placement exams, and that has occurred. We administer over 1,321 AP exams, and that involves 533 students. So it's not that we just have a small number of students taking a lot of exams, it hits a lot of our student body. And that is something that certainly helps prepare them for college. The highest score you can achieve on an AP test is a 5, and our mean score of all of our exams is 4.25. So that's pretty darn impressive on the teacher's part and the student's part. And 284 of those students earned AP recognition. We had 4 national merit finalists in this current class of 2026. That's through the PSAT. And last spring, and we're continuing it this year, we obviously offer a tremendous amount of co-curricular opportunities for students in terms of clubs and athletics. And last year was our inaugural year for our unified flag football program, which are our LLD students and our general ed students. And that has actually expanded. The advisors of that program have expanded it to unified choir, unified arts, a unified bowling event. There are a lot of activities that the students are doing together through our unified program. And we also started girls flag football last spring, which was tremendously popular and continues to be so. So those are just some of the highlights of the things that we've been able, despite the very challenging economic times, that we've been able to add into the budget. And actually, I believe we had grants through the New York Jets for both of those, where they supplied some of the equipment. The Giants, I believe, are handling New York, and the Jets are doing New Jersey. So just for those Giants fans versus the Jets fans out there. But it is nice to get that support. A couple of the other things that we're really starting to focus on are alternative sources of revenue. And we did we're in the final process of developing our next 5-year strategic plan. And one of the goals in that is all about finding alternative sources of revenue, because obviously finances are becoming more and more challenging. And Mr. Schultz will talk a little bit about what some of those challenges are. And then the other piece is we will also be looking to do another referendum, another tax-neutral referendum. We have a number of our bonds that will be coming off and maturing, I believe, around 2028. And so what we're looking to do is roll another referendum so that when those come off, the next one comes on, so that it ends up being tax-neutral. And you'll be hearing more about that in the coming year. What most of that will be, it's not going to be anything flashy. We have a 500,000 square foot building to maintain, and so it's hard to do all of that in the regular general operating budget every year. And so, as you know, we've gotten creative through the referendums that we've done, where we've gotten debt service aid, used our capital reserve. So this one, we will be looking to utilize a lot of debt service aid again, where we get that money back from the state, since we certainly pay them a lot of taxes and don't get a lot of that back every year. In our state aid. So we'll be looking to do that, and I'm sure we'll be coming to speak to you at length about that. But what I'll do now is I'll turn it over to Mr. Schultz to talk to you about some more of the details of the budget.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Jewett. Thank you guys, everyone, for having us. Congratulations on being elected. Thank you for having us. It's great to meet you all finally. It's my first year here. I've been thrilled to be here. Mr. Stiles has some big shoes to fill, stepping in. He's here for a long time, but he's been extremely helpful to me ever since I stepped into the role. So my first budget this year, and I think it went pretty well considering a lot of the economic factors at play here. I also want to thank Mrs. Prasa, who's here, and Mrs. Falzerano-Rosberski, who serve on our operations committee. The board is very supportive throughout this whole budget process, and they were great. And I know it's a lot of time and a lot of work, and they put in a lot of effort as well. Some of the highlights of our budget. Our budget includes a lease purchase, which includes our one-to-one Chromebook initiative for 9th graders, some new smart boards, and some other technology improvements for our arts, English, social studies, and phys ed classrooms, as well as some upgrades in our South Auditorium and our Performing Arts Center. Mr. Stiles started doing lease purchases for some of our big ticket equipment items a few years ago. So this will be the 4th year of that. So once the first one is paid off in the next year's budget, then we can have a cycle where we keep replacing it each year for new needs. We have about $1 million worth of equipment rolled into this lease. Some of the other items we have included in that is a replacement dump truck with a salter and plow, which, as we know, we had a couple of those big storms this year, and our trucks are pretty old, so we have to do some replacement there, and also a new dump truck as well for a pickup truck as well for our buildings and grounds team. The budget also includes the repaving of Regional Drive and upgrades to our digital media lab. As Dr. Jewett mentioned, a lot of our big projects will be coming up in this upcoming referendum that we're planning. So we try to do some of our more needed projects that we're using the capital reserve for Regional Drive paving and the digital media lab, which is the TV studio at the school. The proposed budget is $56,126,677. That represents a 2.37% increase over spending over last year. For state aid, the good news is that we received more state aid this year. We received $51,543 more this year compared to 25-26. Totals $2,760,080. Good news is that we received more state aid, but the bad news is it's only about 6% of our total budget, so it's not a huge revenue portion, but if we lost it, obviously we'll take what we can get. One of the big challenges, and I'm sure you guys are facing it as well, working on your budget, is the healthcare costs. We actually did pretty well. I never thought I'd say this, but a 12.8% increase on health benefits, and I was pretty pleased that we wound up getting that number compared to some of these other districts in the state.
Maybe you could speak to our CFO about that.
A lot of the other districts and local districts, they're facing over 20% to upward near the state plans at about 30%, and the board was very proactive. In January, they approved switching over to Benecard for our prescription plan, and that locked in 14 months at a 5% premium discount to what we're currently paying. So we're locked in until the end of June of 27, so that helped out for this year. We'll see what the rates are at that point, but
That's the challenge, right?
but at least we kicked it down the road for a year, and it helped our premiums for the next budget cycle. Another thing that actually helped our budget this year, I know Mr. Stiles talked about this in the past, was our special ed tuition costs continue to increase. The costs actually keep increasing for special ed, but we actually have tuition costs decreasing by over $750,000 for next year. Due to students graduating, we have some parental settlements that are on the books that are coming off the books at the end of this year. And the district has been working hard to keep more students in district and not sending them out to some of the private schools. Between the transportation and the cost of the actual tuition for the schools, it keeps soaring, but if we keep as many kids as we can in our in-house programs, it's super helpful to the budget. So we're able to repurpose some of that $700,000 to other areas of the budget. This way we wouldn't have to burden the taxpayers with that. So the tax impact on the average 2026 home, the assessed value of the homes went up from $622,466 in 2025 up to $681,743. The tax impact on the average assessed home is going to be about $55.51. Our overall general fund tax levy is going up 3.95%. Overall, that's using the part of the healthcare waiver that we have. The 2% plus the healthcare waiver that we had, it was about $700,000. So the average assessed home went up about 9.52%. And then there's actually, when you look at the tax rate actually decreased due to the assessed ratables increasing at a greater percentage than the actual tax levy. So the actual tax rate has a decrease of 0.0274. And any additional information can be found on our website. I posted a lot of the spreadsheets and information on our website today. You can find that at www.whrhs.org. And our public hearing is currently scheduled for April 28th, where the board approved the budget to send down to the county. It's at the county level right now, and our public hearing is scheduled to be on the 28th. All right. Anyone have any questions or comments?
Just a quick question. I know you had mentioned you were able to keep healthcare like a 12.5% increase, which is excellent compared to what everybody's experiencing. You said there was a waiver or something that was allowing you to hold it at that? Because I'm just intrigued as to how you were able to do that.
Not so much to hold it at it, but we're allowed to increase taxes over our 2% cap. The state has had, the last number of years, they've had a healthcare waiver. So you can go up to, depending on what the state health benefit plan is and depending on what your rates are, they have a calculation in the budget system that you can raise taxes over the 2%. So we used 1.95% over the 2% to get to that. What we did, we're part of the SHIF, which is a health benefit group. So we get a little bit better rates than anyone who's on a private plan. And obviously the switching the prescription plan to Benecard as well, that helped. So I think we were at 14% last year, and it actually worked out great this year. I think that we wound up at 12.8 when some districts are at over 25 and 30%. And that's a huge deterrent to but that, transportation costs, those are the big costs that keep soaring, and we're trying to manage that along with salaries.
Fuel's through the roof.
And fuel now, of course, yes.
It's very, very painful.
Yes.
Last question was, and maybe you may have mentioned, I apologize, what is the cost per pupil?
Cost per pupil, I think I have that in the budget. I think it's a
Yeah,
little.
I didn't have time to look at any of your.
No, that's okay. I think it was on our presentation. I think it was just under 24,000 using the state formula. I can pull it up for you. Yeah, using the state budget software, it was 23,983 as our per pupil cost for all districts, not just Long Hill.
Right.
For War. Yeah, it's for the whole Watchung Hills High School.
Long Hill's a little cheaper.
Right. Yeah, for Long Hill, we have about, I looked at the projected enrollment for next year. It looks like we have about 359 students, which is roughly about 22% of our enrollment for next year.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Thanks.
Good.
We can't
It's a
tease
thumb up,
that.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up, all right.
I told him you were gonna haze him a little bit and give him a hard time, so this is way too easy.
All right, I have one question. If you ask,
Thanks.
I was wondering. So you said that the cost is just under $25,000 based on the state formula?
Yeah, state
What
formula.
does that exactly mean?
So the state has a formula in the budget software that they try to make it unified among the state because some districts they won't have transportation costs. Everyone's special ed out of district costs. So they back that out of the calculation for when they figure out the per pupil cost. So it doesn't include our out-of-district special ed cost, some transportation costs, because every district varies greatly depending on what your enrollment is and how many kids are going out of district. So that when we worked on the budget system for the state website, they have a unified calculation, and that's how they come up with that number. Just so you can compare apples to apples comparing to other districts.
And what would be the cost if you added all that stuff in? Do you have that number?
I don't have that off the top of my head right now.
I was just curious, not,
No.
That essentially, with all of that added in, I mean, I guess it's essentially our budget divided by the number of students, by the amount of students, so it's definitely going to be more. But the reason the state backs that out is because those certain costs are so variable that if we want to compare, because what we'll do every year is we look at other regional districts to see where we lie with our per pupil cost, because we want to make sure, we don't want to be the cheapest, but we don't want to be the highest. So that's why the state does that, so you can compare, but it would be higher, certainly.
thank you.
Committee woman?
Did
Fetish?
I get this right? What were the student number totals that you gave? You said 2,300?
Oh, you know what, we
And
meant to.
then-
That was,
hand
13
those out,
years
did-
ago.
we probably,
13 years
I
ago.
probably
Oh, okay,
forgot to
never
give
mind.
the.
My question.
No,
was-
that was when I first started in the district, we were at about 2,300, and now we're down to, 1651.
For whatever reason, I looked it up, and '05 was about 2,400, so the decline
Yes,
from
it wa-
'05 to '13 was
Was
nominal.
very, yes, it was
And the
that, because
decline
what,
is,
and that's when they built the giant addition, because the high school doubled, I think, in the late nineties, early 2000s, and it stayed pretty stable. And then, I mean, honestly, and my theory to that is, people love these towns, and so even when their kids get older, they don't move out. So that's why our enrollment has decreased a bit, because empty nesters are here. Because people do love these communities, so they don't necessarily leave when their kids are out of the
To your
district.
point, right, like
So-
K-8, I know back in '05 was about 1130. And for the first time, it had been constant for the last 5 years, around 850, give or take. They lost 90, they're down to like 763, and that surprised me.
Yeah, and now I do
But it
think.
lends credibility, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my kind of, my thinking of what, where that would come from. But we do expect it to start ticking back up, just with all of the construction, obviously, and the housing going up. But we don't think it'll hit us at the high school for about 4 to 5 years.
What was the enrollment in 2025, 2026?
Last, we only lost about, I want to say 20 or
15
Okay.
15 to 20.
yeah,
So
15 to
not-
20
okay.
students from last year to this year, so not too much. But you can feel it in the hallways, because it's not nearly as crowded as it used to be. It's still crazy getting from one class to the next, but I mean, you used to not be able to move. So you can definitely feel the difference. And that's one of the challenges we have, is trying to maintain the programs that we have with the lower enrollment, because we did have to, years ago, we went from 6 languages to 4 languages, just because we couldn't sustain them with the numbers. So those are some of the tough decisions that the board, and the administration will be grappling with over the next couple of years, because one of the advantages of being a large comprehensive high school is you can offer a lot to the students. And so we don't want to sacrifice that. So we've been very creative at trying to maintain that.
Thank you.
So.
Teresa, Matt? No, I'm good. So, all the questions that I would have asked have been asked. Again, I want to reiterate, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Thank you, Dr. Jewett. You come each year, 13 years, I guess. we together.
So, and really, thank you so much. We always appreciate getting to speak with you. And if you ever need anything from us, you can always reach out to us directly. We are happy to answer any additional questions that come up. Any questions you get from taxpayers, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office. And congratulations again,
Thank
new
you.
committee person. And thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Schultz.
Thank you.
Take care.
Carol, thank you for coming tonight. Okay. Item number 5, ordinance 584-26, introduction, first reading. I'll read the ordinance. An ordinance regulating the removal of trees and providing for the preservation of trees throughout Long Hill Township and amending chapter 13 of the Township Code in its entirety and supplementing section 150 of the Township Land Use Ordinance entitled Development Design Standards. That's a lot of words. Jack, can you summarize what's happening here?
Yes, this is a tree protection ordinance, which has been in the works for probably 30, 40 years. This version came from the planning board about 10 years ago. And it was not adopted by the township committee at that time, and it's come back under this current township committee. It regulates the removal of trees, requires replacement of trees, creates a tree protection fund that gets paid into by developers, and it's very detailed for the protection of trees.
Thank you, Jack. And I could speak to what Jack just referenced. I was on a township committee, as Dr. Jewett pointed out, but I was also on the Shade Tree Commission back in the day when this was first introduced. And what I want to say is every town in the immediate area has a tree ordinance, and I would point out that this is, as David Welch had pointed out years ago, that this is a ordinance light. It's not excessive compared to other towns.
Not at all.
The Chathams and others. So I think this is a good compromise in working with the Shade Tree Committee now, right?
No, the
They're
commission again,
they're back to
they're
being,
back
okay.
in, and they have, by the way, they've also approved this. It was
Right.
submitted to the Shade Tree Commission, and they've signed off on it as well.
I think the planning board also, correct?
Well, yes.
Right, so
And
we're in
Yeah, so
sync.
And
This is
Steve.
what
We're in
years
sync,
ago
yes.
noted, yes.
This has been in motion for
Yes.
quite some time. And that being the case, Teresa, not to put you on the spot, but I know you're on the Shade Tree Commission. I don't know if you want to opine at any point, or you don't have to.
No, I know that they've talked a lot about this. I have two comments whenever, just, I think, like, just errors in here that just need to be cleaned up whenever. I don't know if you want me to say it now or later.
It's just like
They're not-
typos.
Yeah.
Depends on who made the
Let me know,
mistake.
I'll clean it up.
Okay, great. Well, one of them was, it's slightly more substantive, and again, I don't know if you want the,
If it's substantive, it would be
Yeah,
nice
why
to
don't we
hear.
talk about it?
the Appendix B, Appendix A and B, right? They list out the actual trees. One, there's just a duplicate on both, so it should either be in the, invasive section or in the recommended section. I don't know which one.
I don't either.
The
Actually,
sawtooth
I
oak, so
just
we can look
plugged
into
this-
that.
I plugged it in exactly as it came from the.
Yeah, it's fine. So the sawtooth oak is on both, but then the wisteria is just generally named, and it's been brought to my attention. I don't have a green thumb like this, but, I think like Japanese and Chinese wisteria is considered invasive, but American wisteria is actually quite pleasant. So I don't know if you wanna clarify.
Maybe we can get some guidance from the Shade Tree Commission.
So I
before
don't
the
know,
next
is
meeting.
this being introduced actually, or is this just a first reading?
This is first reading
Okay,
tonight.
so then we could just fix
And I
this
think
thing.
those changes, we could probably adopt the same night. They were not really
Great.
changing the substance of the ordinance.
Right, I was going to
Yeah,
ask you, if we
clarifying,
could
I
still
think.
pass on first reading with
Tonight.
the understanding that we will
We
get
may
changes
clarify some
from-
of those
Yep,
trees listed in the appendix,
Okay, great.
appendices.
If I may, Mayor,
yes,
I
ma'am.
also believe that Arbor Day is our second meeting in April, so the Shade Tree Commission should probably be here then.
Good call.
Wow, look
Good
at that
timing.
timing.
Look at you, tree person.
Wow.
Matt, comments, questions?
Nope.
Vic?
Oh, this is a long time coming, in my opinion. I'm very pleased.
All right, it's first reading, so we don't have to open it to the public, so I would look for a motion to approve on first reading with the understanding it's gonna go back to the Shade Tree Commission to clean up, the things that Committeewoman Bettis just referenced.
So moved.
Second,
Committeewoman Fettis,
yes.
Committeeman Liberato,
Yes.
Committeeman Verleza,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey.
Yes.
Mayor Versurgia.
Yes. All right, item number 6, consent agenda resolutions. Are there any items that a member of the Township Committee would like to abstain or hold for further clarification? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve resolutions numbers 26-103 through 26-108?
May I make one point, Mayor, before
Yes.
it's adopted? In 26-108, I think it should specify that James Lavender is the Class 2 member. It's not
Okay.
mentioned in the resolution itself.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
look, the planning board is a critical board. Committeeman Verleza is going to move into Class 3, correct me if I'm wrong?
Yes, that's a township committee appointment. You
That
have
is
to make that
correct.
appointment later in the meeting.
Right, and mayor's designee will be Scott Lavender, and James Lavender will move into Class
2.
2. I just wanted to point that out, because that's an important,
Yes, and the
that's an
class,
important board.
the class 2 is the township official, so James Lavender will also be on the Shade Tree Commission as the township
Thank you
official.
for pointing that out, and Committee Woman Bettis will step down from the planning board.
lucky you.
She's automatically off.
Well,
Yeah,
Got
but she
fired.
did you say you just fired her?
Yeah, that's what it sounds
No.
like.
No, that's not what I said, okay.
It was an operation of law.
All right, so there's a motion out there, right?
No,
Nobody made a motion?
No, we didn't get to it yet, because Jack interrupted it.
I did. Rudely interrupted.
Teresa's gonna have Matt work on his vernacular, I think.
We're working on it.
Good luck.
Good luck.
We've
Yeah.
we've been trying that since what, Dr. Jewett pointed that out?
Yes.
All right, so now I'm looking for a motion, right? 26-103 through 26-108.
So moved.
Second.
Committeewoman Fettis,
Yes.
Committeeman Liberato,
Yes.
Committeeman Verleza,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey.
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia.
Yes. So committee reports, Teresa, I don't think you have one. We already gave
Not
one
yet.
on the shade tree, so that's great. Matt, I'll go to you.
All right, let's see. You have slides?
Yeah, give me
I'll
one.
read the first one. Exciting news from the Health Department. Question, Persuade, Refer Training, QPR, not to be confused with CPR. QPR mission is to reduce suicidal behaviors and save lives by providing innovative, practical, and proven suicide prevention training in 3 steps anyone can learn to help prevent suicide. This training is free to anyone who's 18 years or older and is interested in learning suicide prevention techniques. This is a seminar being held April 23rd, 6:30 to 8:30. It's online, and if you go to the Board of Health, Burnett Township Board of Health website, you can scan the code or register. So that is April 23rd, 2026, 6:30. Next. Now we move on to the library. Library is open Monday to Sunday, every day. I don't know why I say Monday to Sunday. There's lots going on for all ages, typically at least 5 different offerings. A few programs are highlighted below. All right. Our hours are now longer. Okay, go to the next slide. Monday, April 14th, 7 p.m., a Zoom presentation, the Museum of Early Crafts and Trades. Learn all about America's sport, the history and superstitions to magic. Call to register or do so via the library's website. Wednesday, April 16th, 6:30 to 7:30, in person at the library. Dorothy Smullen is presenting from the Long Hill Environmental Commission, is doing a presentation. Learn the history and ecology of the Great Swamp. Music weekend, Saturday, April 18th, 1 to 2 o'clock. A local band, the Randos, are playing a family-friendly concert at the library. And on Sunday, the 19th, from 2 to 3, Alex Prisgintas is performing songs in honor of America's 250th anniversary. Thank you, Randos and Alex. And finally, Saturday, the 25th, hosted by the Shredder is coming. By the Friends of Long Hill Township's hosting it. Saturday, the 25th, 10 to 1 in the municipal parking lot. It's a fundraiser for the library, and actually people were asking me about this a couple weeks ago. So mark your calendars. The Shredzilla is back. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Let's go. Frank?
I don't have any committee
And I didn't
reports
think
yet.
you would. I didn't know.
I have an announcement later when we get to that section.
I'm gonna turn to you for that one, so we'll go to Vic. I wanna bring your A game tonight.
All right, I'm going to try because this is a long one.
Oh, no.
Very long one.
Okay, our rec update is as follows. Spring has sprung. Lots more activity in the parks. Saturday, March 28th, we all bundled up to hold our annual spring egg hunt. Peter Cottontail got to the park extra early to put out 11,000 eggs for all the good kids in Long Hill. 72 eggs had additional prize tickets in them for additional prizes. We had a great crowd Special thanks to the Long Hill Chamber of Commerce for also joining us, and the Shenandoah Farms from Jackson, New Jersey, for bringing a petting zoo for the kids and offering free pony rides. We also had a jelly bean counting contest. The answer was 2,162 jelly beans, with the proceeds going to one lucky winner. Long Hill TV joined us, and there is a video from the event posted on the website, as well as photos from the event. Be sure to check them out. Special thanks goes out to two really good eggs, Larry and Ernie, and LMB Audio for joining us extra early to provide sound for the content. Thank you to the Long Hill Recreation Advisory Committee members, volunteers from the community, and our township committee members for coming out to help. It truly takes a village to pull off an event of this size. This year, we tried something new, an adult egg hunt using a phone app called Goose Chase. From March 20th through the 28th, Long Hill adults got to bring on their silly and very competitive skills to earn points. At the event, several additional challenges were released which had to be done at the actual egg hunt. As you can see from the photos, the participants had some fun with this. In the end, it was Quasi Wabbit, aka Donna Fucci, who took home the grand prize. We look forward to building upon the success of this event and holding other events like this in the future. And congratulations, Donna. Our Birding in Long Hill contest ended on March 31st. It was hard selecting the winning photographs/photographers. We had to bring in tie-breaking judges, but in the end, we ended up with our 3 winning photos. Our winning photographers are Larry Mamone of Sterling, James Morin of Gillette, and Jill DeGrazio of Millington. Congratulations to all of our entrants. The photographs were amazing. They are all linked to our website in a photo album for all to see and on display in the lobby near the Recreation Office. Consider joining us on April 23rd for a Red Cross CPR/AED class. Upon completion of the class, participants will receive a certificate good for 2 years from Red Cross. The cost is only $39 per person, and registration is currently open on Community Pass. Dates for our spring yoga programming have been announced, and registration is open on Community Pass now. There are just a few more spots open for these classes, all levels accepted. There is important information on our website from the Bernards Health Department about the avian bird flu and how it is affecting birds in our area now. It is transmittable to humans and pets, although not easily. You will want to read more about this to understand what you should do should you encounter a sick or dead bird. For everyone that applied to work in the summer programs with us this summer, please make sure you are checking your emails. Email is our primary method of communication, and you'll need to check every day. We are also posting general updates on the employment in the Parks and Recreation tab on our website. Moving right along. Please mark your calendars for Memorial Day, Monday, May 25th. We will have our parade beginning at 9:30 a.m., followed by a memorial service at Central School. Anyone interested in marching in the parade should contact the Parks and Recreation Department for more information. Summer camps registration now open on Community Pass. Check out the website for more information. Are we Missing, we out of stride here?
It's not, my computer like froze.
Oh,
You can add this.
and I'm like
We're
two
just giving a moment
clicks
for the
away.
Memorial Day parade. That's what it's doing.
You're on a
It's
good
attempting
roll.
to reconnect.
Yeah, I know, I was like
You
two
were
clicks
really
away
just
from a
going
really good
through.
read here.
Sorry, my fault.
You were so close to an A+.
Oh, man,
Sorry.
I was feeling it.
Can you do the last two without the slides?
I'm trying. I would do the last two without slides though.
There you go. Go ahead.
Sounds gonna
You can
ground
do
you
it.
The last two?
Yes.
Wait a minute, no, I don't, did I talk about the Long Hill Dog Days?
No?
No. So
All right,
last
so then I
three.
got three more to go. Rock on Long Hill with the Dog Days of Summer concert series. We just announced our summer lineup. All right, what would be slide number 13? Want to get more involved in our community? Consider joining the Recreation Advisory Committee and have some fun. Please contact Lisa or Bill in the Parks and Recreation Department for more information. And last but not least, Earth Day is officially on April 22nd. However, we think every day should be Earth Day. So show some love to your parks and keep trash in its place.
And who tells us to keep the trash?
Oscar the Grouch. And that concludes my recreation update. Thank you.
Small golf clap there. Good. Well done.
Thank you.
You know, so just a couple of things. A shout out to one, Larry Bazinski. He's the gentleman that provides the sound system, not just for the Easter parade there, the egg hunt, but also for all the concerts, for Memorial Day. Incredible amount of work he puts into it behind the scenes. And I especially like to thank him publicly because he hates that. So there you go. Lisa Scanlon, Bill Calderola, from the rec department and all the volunteers in the recreation group. What they do for this town is incredible. They go above and beyond all the time, the concerts and everything you mentioned tonight. And I do want to thank Chief Chiambrella, and I know there's somebody was in the back, and all the volunteer emergency services. The fire company, Committeeman Liberato is here, long-time volunteer. Chief Gallo, I always call him Chief Gallo, even longer, with an emphasis on longer volunteer. So the Millington Fire Department, the Sterling Fire companies, and the First Aid Squad. What they do for this town is incredible, and they don't get thanked enough, and they don't want thanks, but they deserve it. So thank you, and anyone. It's always the proper time to donate to our volunteer services if you're able to. And at that, I'm going to turn it over to Randy, our administrative CFO and all-around good guy.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple announcements. We have a lot of projects in the works. We're going to be having some pre-construction meetings this month and getting contractors out to the roads, Long Hill Phase 1, Chestnut, and Long Hill Phase 2. Hopefully they'll be out in the streets in late April, early May. We also have work going on in the park with the basketball court and the tennis courts. So we're hoping to get that restarted once the weather breaks, hopefully in the next week or two. And we'll be moving along with that. I do want to point out that on April 11th is World Parkinson's Day. They have a program, Spark the Night. So if you want to participate, they ask that you show blue lights visible house, wherever we're going to be having our board out front with a blue screen on April 11th to honor to make aware, not honor, but make aware of Parkinson's disease and Parkinson's Day. This is a world event, so they're trying to get as many people to participate as possible. And that's all I have right now, Mayor.
And the Long Hill Road that you were referencing is the eastern part,
Yes.
which is township. We don't
Correct.
have, and nor do we expect anything in terms of scheduling for the county side.
The county is gonna be doing it this year.
But we don't know
We
when.
don't know the dates yet. Once they have the dates, we'll be posting everything online. We'll be getting out alerts to people. Obviously, Long Hill is a very busy road, so we will be getting a message out when they will be constructing any roads. The DPW Director Gallo and I are working on our mill and pave program also, so, that'll be in the mix probably, thinking a little later, than these roads, but, we have a lot going on.
And to Randy's point, we know every time, the construction is when it can take place, when the funding comes in, when the scheduling works for the contractors and stuff. Sometimes it's when schools are open. You just have to be patient. Our police department will work diligently to make sure you get your children to schools safely. No need to complain on Facebook. With that, so the discussion items, number 9 on your agenda, Township Committee Liaison, possible action. So Megan, do we have to vote on that?
Well, you can do the standing committee, resolution. You could do 26-109 based off of, the working document that you have in front of you.
Right.
So you could adopt resolution 26-109.
Okay,
Amending the standing township committee appointments.
okay. And we've discussed this briefly amongst us, so if there are any comments or questions, otherwise I'd look for a motion. We need a motion, Megan? 26-109, which would be the standing appointments to the committee. We've had some changes, as everyone knows. So I don't see any comments, so I'll look for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Committeewoman Fettis,
Yes.
Committeeman Liberato,
Yes.
Committeeman Verleza,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey,
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia.
Yes, thank you, Megan. And the same comment for advisory committees and ad hoc committees.
That is the working document that Jack provided for you guys that you are looking to maybe codify into an ordinance where you would be appointing the chairs, I believe, for.
Right.
So if Jack, I don't know if you want to shed a little light on it.
Yeah, based on prior discussions, the idea was just to get a handle on advisory committees and ad hoc committees. This would not apply to statutory boards and commissions like the Planning Board, the Board of
Right.
Adjustment, and the Environmental Commission. And it does two things. It codifies everything in one place for all the ad hoc and advisory committees. It creates one-year terms. And the only reason for that is so that it's easier to keep track of the members. It's hard when there are 3 or 4 year terms and they're staggered terms, and people leave mid-term. It often gets out of whack, so you have, 5 people appointed 1 year and none the next. So the only idea behind the one-year term is that it's easier, every reorg, you have the list of everybody on the committee, and you can reappoint them all as you deem appropriate. And as Megan said, it also provides the township committee would appoint the chair, usually upon the recommendation of the committee itself. But
That's
as I
like
say,
we do on the library board,
Right.
appointees that.
but the idea is really just to get a handle on it from an administrative viewpoint. And you're right, the mayor does appoint the chair of the Environmental Commission, which is one of the statutory commissions. So it's up to you all. We have discussed it in the past, but that's the intent behind
This
this
is something
ordinance.
we've been discussing, Jack, you and I have, and in your experience working with another town.
Yes.
This is not atypical.
No, and like I said, it only applies to advisory committees.
So, any questions from the township committee? All right, so we have to,
So if you wanted to, because the new way of doing
Yeah,
things,
right.
we kind of talked about having a discussion, and then bringing it back to introduce at the next meeting. So if
Okay.
you want, we can put that on for first reading, introduction at the 4/22 Township Committee meeting.
Unless there are
good with
any
that.
objections, I would agree with what
good.
you just said.
Sounds good.
Teresa's fine, I think?
I'm
All right,
good.
So we move it?
fire away.
No, it'll be on next
Oh, okay, cool.
agenda.
Got it.
We're trying to discuss in one
Streamline.
meeting and not introduce ordinances for the
Understood.
next meeting.
Yep.
All right, so you have direction, Megan?
Yep.
All right, good. All right, so on the old, new, any old, new? I have one, but other committee members? All right, so Jack, the township committee has discussed this in where it was properly discussed.
Yes,
But if you could explain the situation with Verizon.
yes. There's an obscure and archaic statute that allows municipalities to tax personal property of telephone carriers like Verizon if they, and I want to get the exact language, provide dial tone and access to 51% of a local telephone exchange. And that local telephone exchange is not just the township. It's an area designated by probably the BPU, I'm not sure. But in any event, that's been in place for many years. And like I said, it does not apply to Verizon real property. So if they have a facility in a town, that still gets taxed like any other, real property. So over the years, they submit a form to the assessor, reporting the value of their tangible personal property, and that's the amount of the assessment. In 2025, the amount they reported was $4,714,539, which resulted in taxes being assessed against Verizon for the personal property in the amount of $103,767. Then out of the blue, last year, and I believe March, they filed tax appeals against towns across the state, alleging that the towns could no longer tax them under this statute because they no longer provide dial tone and access to 51% of a local telephone exchange. And as the assessor explained in closed session, this is not a typical tax appeal where, like on a house, you get comparable sales, and the county tax board or the tax court may come up with a number in between or based on those assessments. Here, it's all or nothing. So for the 2026 tax year, the assessor assessed their personal property at 0, with the idea that we would then file an appeal against that. The benefit to that is if Verizon is successful, for example, for 2025, Long Hill and other towns, every town in the state, as far as I know, would have to give them a refund of a little over $100,000. So to avoid that impact of having to make a refund, the assessor, like I said, assessed the 2026 value at $0 and suggested that the township then file an appeal from that, which will still keep us in the game, but as I say, we won't have to give a refund. And this could go on for years, so that $100,000 could add up over time.
Yeah.
So the idea was that by motion tonight, you would authorize me to file an appeal on behalf of the township, saying that their assessment is too low, and, that'll protect us going forward.
And so for the benefit of the public, this committee discussed it in exec where it belongs with the tax assessor, the recommendation from the tax assessor and from a township council was to authorize township attorney, Jack Bedgen, to file a tax appeal. So any member of the public who wants to ask questions on this, I know that sounded complicated, but it's pretty straightforward. I think the township committee, so what I would do is look for authorization for Jack by motion, right? Simple
Yes.
motion?
Yes.
Right. So,
We have to do anything first or second, and we just move to have him do that?
Do the motion and then a second,
Oh,
and
then
then
I'll have
you
a
can do all
motion
of
to allow Jack to file the tax appeal for 2026 to preserve our rights.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye. Is that good enough?
Any opposed? Hearing none? Motion carries.
I will do that, thank you.
Thank you.
Jack. We lost a member. So,
Announcement.
we'll go to announcements. This is item number 11. PBA Local Fishing Derbies, April 18th at 8 a.m. It usually goes to about what time? 1? 8 to 1? All right, so 8 to 1. That is always a great day. I don't want to put them on the spot, but I think Sterling Hotel donates, well, I won't go too far because I haven't cleared that.
No, they
So the
usually
PBA Derby, local fishing derby, April 18th, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Sterling Lake. Sterling Street Fair, April 26th, begins at 10 a.m. I think it goes to 5 p.m. Dennis Sandow, who I see in the audience, guarantees sunny weather. And with that, I think Frank has an announcement.
Yes. So piggybacking on the street fair, just want to let everyone know that Sterling Fire Company will be cooking again at the street fair, the sausage and peppers, famous sausage and peppers, at the corner of Somerset Street in Maine. We'll also do hot dogs. We'll have some drinks. And we will also have our trucks on display, and the children can check out the trucks and meet the firefighters. And we'll have some little giveaways for the children also. So it's going to be a nice day, and Dennis guaranteed sunshine, so I'm looking forward to it.
Any other announcements that we can do? No? All right, so now, item number 12, meetings open to the public, remarks, statements pertaining to any matter. If you could, out of respect for other members of the public, limit comments to 3 minutes. Floor is yours.
He's got nothing.
Drano?
He brought props.
That guy in Cranford now.
Dennis Sandow, Millington. I am here to confess to a crime that I recently committed, and I brought with me the smoking gun.
I advise you that the chief of police is sitting in the audience and a member of,
Well, I don't know if the chief of police has the authority to enforce this particular ordinance. This is ordinance 22-13.4F, which says that you can't pour into the sewer any substance with a pH greater than 9. Now, those of you who don't remember chemistry, look it up. I'm not going to explain pH to you.
do we not look bright?
Why are you snickering, Mr. Dorsey? You didn't take chemistry.
Oh, I was forced to, but
What was your grade in chemistry? Your brother, I know, got a great
yeah,
grade.
probably, so I passed.
At any rate, drain cleaner has a pH of 12. It is unlawful to pour drain cleaner into your drain in Long Hill Township, according to our ordinance. Now, I don't know whether that ordinance was enacted in order to create business for plumbers who could come out and snake the drain and not have to use drain cleaner. I don't know if it is lawful for ShopRite to sell drain cleaner. They're not allowed to sell tobacco products without warning signs, and they're not allowed to sell marijuana at all in this town, but they are allowed to sell drain cleaner, which is patently unlawful under our ordinance.
So what are
So,
we
Jack,
thinking?
That's an interesting comment, but Jack, can we limit? Because it can be bought here and used someplace else.
I would say this is the environmental things.
Now, the problem is with 22-13.4F is although we have an ordinance that prohibits pouring drain cleaner, incidentally, lemon juice can't be poured into your drain either because it's too acidic. That ordinance was passed in 2004, which makes it more than 20 years old, and I'm not sure why that ordinance went to so much specificity in 2004, because there's no possible way to enforce it. Are you going to have a guy patrolling the street, ringing doorbells at 11 o'clock at night, asking to see if you're going to pour drain cleaner into your drain overnight?
We rely on people self-reporting.
Excuse me?
We rely on people self-reporting.
For example, you, this evening.
Or are we relying on the public being honest enough, as I am, to stand before you and admit to having committed this malfeasance?
Does the ordinance require a fine?
I did not take chemistry, so I assure you, I didn't write it.
Now, the other difficulty with this particular ordinance is that it is so badly codified that if you went to court, I could easily get off because the judge would say, this ordinance makes no sense. It's not comprehensible English language. Now, I know what it says because I know a fair bit about chemistry. I know what it's supposed to say, but it doesn't actually say what it's supposed to say. And it needs to be corrected. No, it needs to be removed. Now, back in October, you may recall, you do recall back in October what I said when I stood here. What I said was, we have a whole bunch of ordinances on the books regulating one public utility, the sewer system. And that's a leftover from when we ran the sewer system. But we don't regulate electricity or gas connections anywhere near like we regulate sewer connections. And one part of Ordinance 22-13 is that you have to get a permit to connect to the sewer system. Well, surprise. In the past 6 months, nobody has applied for a permit to connect to the sewer system. I have that on good authority. Interestingly enough, I know that there has been at least one new connection to the sewer system since the sewer ban was lifted in December, but not with a town permit, although the ordinance requires a town permit. And I brought all this to your attention in October in the hopes that most of this section on sewer regulation would be deleted from the ordinances. So far, it hasn't been. So I'm back 6 months later with yet another piece of junk in our ordinances. Now, you may recall that last summer, there was a hue and cry from the public about parking construction vehicles overnight in driveways in residential neighborhoods. And at the time, this committee promised, or the committee, last year's committee, promised that they would look through the ordinances and try to remove all the stuff that was obsolete. Please put sewer or regulations on that list when and if you ever get around to it. And I thank you very much. And you can keep the smoking gun and turn it over to the proper authority if you can figure out who that is.
No, because we don't even own it.
That's a tough act to follow. I see Chuck considering. So, any other member of the public in the courtroom?
Seeing none.
Seeing none. Megan?
If anybody on Zoom would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand now. I don't see anyone, Mayor.
Thank you, Megan.
Motion adjourned.
No, hold on. We're gonna go into exec session, no further action.
Correct.
Am I barred from that?
No.
Oh.
And so now I will look for a motion to go into exec, no further action.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you. Aye.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.